Hello YouTube, OwenSoldier86 here, and we have loaded up our ROM with the new Mystic Cave level ready to go. So, let's see what we got. Stock 3. I'm going to throw a few characters in there. Our blue color Mario. Alright, now, looks like Mystic Cave Zone loaded up okay. We can see from here that all the textures look good. Except for the transparency on those chain links. We got some white that's showing up that I'm wondering, did that show up like that? It didn't really show up like that with the aquatic ruin zone. So I'm wondering if it's because we used green instead of gray. Those textures got a little bit mangled. So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about when we discuss transparencies. It just seems to be it seems to have more of an issue than it's worth dealing with. So I'm wondering if we should just change those green chain links to a simple chain link like what we used with the aquatic ruin zone, because it looks like it came out a lot cleaner there. But let's load up the level and see what it looks like. So what I like to do is I like to just test really quickly to see if all of the clippings that I had put in work fine. So far, everything looks good in terms of spawning. There's been no hard crashing, which means that our clippings are in the right mapping zone. And it looks like everybody spawned in the right spots, which is good. Link got caught between that little area down here that we talked about. One of the things I like to check too, to make sure that the grabbable parts work. Looks like that works. Yeah, it's looking really good so far. Put the characters on a lower level because I have a hard time playing while talking at the same time. But I think we're getting kind of the idea of what's going on here. Characters are doing reasonably well. I'd say that they seem to be hanging onto the platforms a lot better than they did with, like, say, the Emerald Hill Zone. It's really frantic. There's a lot of action going on in this level. Also because the level is just so narrow, horizontally and vertically too. You know, there's not a lot of area up that the characters can explore. We might want to change that. We might want to add in a few extra platforms above these just to help flush this out a little bit. That barrel is going back and forth between the lower half of the level. It looks like that cleared our lower space very nicely. I'm going to hang out over here for a second, see if I can see that barrel. Yeah, so it clears left and right. And I wonder if I can sneak into that barrel to see if it works for me if I shoot up into that lower platform. Yep, sure enough, there it hits the ceiling and you bonk right back to the bottom of the level. So you cannot clip through those boxes. So that clipping worked great. That's excellent. All right, let's start cleaning these guys up a little bit. Yeah, I think everything turned out really nice. I don't like those textures. I think I'll change that. And I noticed the characters are kind of walking through those chain link textures as well. So we might want to consider moving it slightly over to the side, closer towards the background, so that it doesn't look like the characters are walking right through those chain links. But I think it's a simple change of from the green to, say, a gray texture, and then that white won't be so tragic and egregious. But everything else looks fantastic. Are we going to get rid of Samus here or what? 50 seconds on my video. Let's see if we can do it quick. There we go. Yeah, I'm very pleased with it. I think it turned out very nice. So if you do run into issues where the level crashes, trace your steps backward. Usually the best place to look first is going to be clipping. If the clipping is not correct, the level will either crash or the characters will spaz out and do weird things. Check that. Also check to make sure your objects are spawning above the clipping rather than below, and make sure that all the objects are accounted for. Sometimes objects, those little cubes, end up behind geometry and stuff, and then sometimes they get lost. So make sure you've accounted for all of those. And the level will ask you before you save it if you accidentally have one placed out of bounds. They'll remind you about that. So hope that helps a little bit. And yeah, we're on to the next step of the level making process.